Here's a detailed review/breakdown of the Roman Reigns vs. Bronson Reed match at WWE Crown Jewel 2025, an Australian street fight stipulation. What worked, what didn't, and its implications. The bout was the opening match for Crown Jewel 2025, held in Perth, Australia. It was contested under street fight, no disqualification rules, giving both men freedom to use weapons, fight outside the ring, etc. Reed is Australian, which adds local hero stakes to the match. The feud had history. At Clash in Paris, Reigns defeated Reed, but Reed and his allies attacked afterward, escalating their rivalry. Reed is aligned with the Vision, with Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, as part of WWE's push. So the match was built with both personal animosity and narrative momentum behind Reed. Reigns started strong. He controlled much of the early action, using weapons, pushing the tempo, trying to define the fight on his terms. He used cricket bats, cricket balls, a trash can, etc., to work over Reed and assert dominance. Reed absorbed that offense, attempted comebacks, and got in moments, for example, using the steel steps and chairs to swing momentum. There were multiple near falls. Reed nearly won with a jagged edge, Reigns nearly won after collapsing a chair, etc. At one point, Reed charged into a chair in the corner, a high-risk move, and that misstep gave Reigns a window. So far, the match was by the book for a street fight. Ebb and flow, weapon use, big spots, near falls. As Reed was attempting comebacks, Braun Breaker interfered, spearing Reigns. Breaker and Reed executed a shield-style powerbomb through the commentary announce table to damage Reigns further. The Usos, Jay and Jimmy, came out to help Reigns. They engaged with Reed and Breaker, shifting the balance briefly. However, tragedy or dramatic misfortune struck. Jay accidentally speared Reigns through a table, turning the tide. With Reigns incapacitated, Reed hit his finish, the tsunami, and got the pinfall victory. After the match, Reigns was visibly upset at the Usos for interfering, even though he'd asked them not to. He said, "I don't want to see y'all until Christmas." In the ring, Jimmy and Jay got into an argument, hinting at internal tension in the Bloodline. Pinning Roman Reigns in a singles match, especially under these stipulations, is a major credibility booster for Reed. Cageside seats even called it a new era for him. Because Reigns is such a dominant figure, this win gives Reed serious momentum. The interference, the accidental table spot by Jay, the post-match tension, all of that increases the drama beyond just wrestling moves. Having Reigns chastise the Usos afterward adds layers to the storyline. The use of cricket bats, tables, steps, and the crowd being in Australia added a local flavor and spectacle. The match made good use of the street fight stipulation overall. The packing was decent. Reigns dominant early, Reed fighting back, big spots later with interference. The near falls kept the suspense. The finish was heavily influenced by interference Breaker and the accidental hit from Jay. That weakens the purity of Reed's win. Some fans prefer clean finishes in marquee matches. Because interference played a big role, some may argue the match lacked a truly decisive moment from Reed alone. Some of the spots, e.g. weapons, table bumps, powerbomb through announce table, are quite familiar in WWE's street fight playbook. They risk feeling recycled. According to reviews, e.g. CBS Sports, the match was a bit plodding in parts until interference picked things up. When the action shifted outside and slowed, parts dragged a bit before regaining momentum. Some fans may question how often interference or miscommunication leads to big match outcomes. If overused, it can dilute emotional payoffs. Reviewers generally gave it something like a B to B grade. CBS Sports gave it grade B, citing that things picked up more in the late stretch when interference came in. The match did what it needed to do, Elevate Reed, create storyline tension, deliver spectacle. It may not become a classic, but it will be remembered for the upset and what it sets up. In that sense, it succeeded in its primary goals. Reed's star rise. This result cements Reed as a main event level competitor. He now has a marquee win over one of WWE's biggest stars. Bloodline slash Usos tension. Reigns' anger at the Usos for interfering, even though they probably intended to help, fuels internal drama. We may see fractures in the Bloodline storyline. Vision slash Breaker slash Rollins momentum. Reed's alliance, the Vision, gets credibility. Breaker's interference reinforces his muscle role. Rollins, as leader, now has more backing. Reigns' character direction. Losing in his solo return, he had been off slash away, might lead to narrative arcs about reconciling with allies, proving himself, or changes in leadership. Future matches. You can expect rematches, possibly stipulations to prevent interference, no interference rules, cage, etc., or that Reed becomes a contender in other feuds.